Miss Jane Smith hasn't been with us for a while. Hey, Miss Jane, how are you today?
Good morning. Good morning.
So, the State Ethics Board, you are about to become its newest member. First of all, what is it? What do they do? And does it look like fun?
Okay, well, let's start with how the makeup of the board is formed. There's 11 members, and 7 are governor appointees, 2 are elected by the House of Representatives, which that's the body that I'm elected from, and 2 are elected from the Senate. So 11 members, and we are charged with making sure that the ethics laws of this state are carried out appropriately. So in a nutshell, I'll be sworn in next 18th and 19th we'll meet. So I'll be sworn in on the 18th. We will hear complaints that have been filed concerning any and all elected and or statewide appointed officials to decide if that needs to be investigated. So the ethics laws cover everything from, are you receiving something because of the position that you hold, be it elected or appointed? Are you filling out your personal financial disclosures correctly? Are you filling out campaign finance disclosures correctly? And anything that could be considered something of value because of the position that you hold. So Kathleen Allen is the director, and she basically explained to me that we ensure and administer the laws set forth by the legislature from every person in the state that is either the governor all the way through the dog catcher in Shongaloo. So it's a lot of folks. So
basically,
to the ethics laws.
Basically, once you're sworn in, you're going to be like Jane Smith, bribery detective.
Well, I'm going to be like listening to a lot of complaints that have been filed in writing, and then we have to decide, and we vote. But much of this is done in executive session, Robert. So the entire public is not listening to every complaint because some probably will not be valid. But we make the decision as to whether the complaint is valid and should move on to an investigation, and then at some point does it go farther than that.
Let me ask you that, Jane, but there's been a lot of criticism about the Ethics Commission, Ethics Board in the years past, that many of our ethics laws have no teeth in them. I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do. What can you guys do?
Well, I was on the committee when we revised the ethics laws in 2004, and you can imagine before we had even strict ethics laws, people were getting contracts and family members were receiving contracts because the person, let's say, in the legislature or the person was the governor. Well, since then, the ethics laws have tightened up quite a bit. Now, there are fines and penalties all the time that are given to elected officials because they miss deadlines and things like that. But I don't think elected officials are necessarily trying to miss deadlines, get things in because they're going to get fined. But I think what it does is it forces us as ethics board members to take a serious look at, are elected officials in any way, form, or fashion using these positions for gain? Now, after a few meetings, I'll be able to tell you probably better what's actually happening when this does occur. Because, as I said, if you can think about every elected and or appointed state official, think about how many people that is. That's police juries, that's school boards, that's legislators, that's appointed officials to state government.
Good Lord, you're going to be so incredibly busy, I would wager.
Mm-hmm. You have to do a lot of, we do have to do a lot of listening, research. Now, there's attorneys that are on each division. Like, let's say there's an attorney that's over all of personal financial disclosure. I've had to fill these out for years. So I'm on the other side of this now, and I'm very happy to say that I never had a violation.
Now, pardon me, Erin said a couple of seconds ago that you had been for the last, 5 days, a week or so, in special ethics violation training. What was that all about? Well,
the Kathleen Allen, who's the director, has been there for a number of years, ever since I was in the legislature. And she basically came up, and we went through a snapshot, and it's a 3-ring binder that's pretty large, but it sort of explains, here are the areas that the ethics board takes a look at. Here's how it works. You come in, you hear the complaint in executive session, you vote, and then you also hear waivers the next day. Let's say someone has a complaint filed against them. We've investigated it. They have a right at some point, if they choose, to come before the ethics board and explain why this happened. Maybe they received tickets to go to a ball game and they can't do that, or someone who has a contract with a business that is involved with the state and they want to take them on a trip. They can't do that. They can't pay for things of value for elected and appointed officials. So they may want to come and explain how that happened. That's just an example of some of the things that we're going to be hearing. Many times, seasons of election seasons are obviously more busy than others. But this is a thing we meet twice a week. We meet 2 days a month, but that's consistent with all day with work and looking at what has been filed, how many of the complaints are legitimate, and what moves forward. Why
does Jane Smith want to do this now? You can stay home. You can play golf.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I appreciate I was nominated by a person that I really have a lot of respect for, and I was honored that she nominated me. And so you do give up a lot of time. I admit that, but I sort of like serving. I like being a part of state government. I love the idea of being able to make sure that the laws are administered in a correct fashion. I believe I bring some common sense to the board, and I have a high energy level, and so I want to do it, and I want to give it a try. So I'm all for it.